Okay, good morning, and thank you to the organisers for inviting our startup to present today. So at Sur180 Therapeutics, a women-owned company, our mission is to raise the level of care for endometriosis. Approximately 1 in 10 women of reproductive age suffer from this condition, which is defined as the presence of endometrial tissue outside the uterus, most commonly within the peritoneal cavity. This results in the development of endometrial lesions, adhesions, peritoneal inflammation, and often chronic incapacitating pain, which severely impacts the lifestyle of these women and their ability to work. There's no cure for this disease, and unfortunately, at the present time, the main method of diagnosis is by invasive laparoscopy. So this means that on average, there is a 7 to 10 year delay in diagnosis. Most commonly, what happens is that the women are treated during surgery by removing the endometrial lesions, and then they receive hormonal treatment, since this is an estrogen-dependent disease. Now, unfortunately, these current medications are associated with many serious side effects, which include early menopause and bone loss. And also, obviously, the surgeries are associated with high risk and long recovery periods. Now, importantly, most women, so majority of patients, will suffer more than one surgical intervention. The big problem or the big issue is the endometriosis recurs, it comes back. And moreover, 30% of patients don't respond to the treatments that are currently on the market, or they're intolerant to them. So obviously this places a big financial burden on both the women with this disease and the healthcare insurance companies and institutions. So what is the therapeutic solution? So what we are focusing on is bringing a novel small molecule to the market, which focuses on an entirely different mechanism. So we're focusing on the stress axis, the HPA axis, versus most current therapeutics, which focus on the gonadal hormonal axis. We're bringing a molecule which has never been commercialized, but has a known safety profile. So we're repositioning that, which provides us with a de-risk strategy, which would lead to faster approval and savings. And we have shown in preclinical work that this molecule is also able to provide long-term pain relief with no risk of addiction. So molecule A, or antilarmin, was a molecule was initially tested for mood disorders. It's never been commercialized or brought to the market. We've been able to show that just a 7-day administration of this molecule was able to produce long-lasting effects in our preclinical animal model, whereby there was reduction of lesion size and inflammatory pain. The patent for endometriosis for antilarmin against endometriosis was obtained by the inventors and the co-founders of the company in conjunction with our academic partner, which is Ponce Health Science University, as well as the Puerto Rico Science Technology Trust. And Sur180 Therapeutics has now obtained the exclusive license for the method of use. So showing here, this is just the type of lesions that you see in animal model that develop, and we were able to show that in these lesions there are more than double the number of corticotrophin hormone releasing receptor 1 found then in the uterus. So when we administer our molecule, this is able and block these receptors, we're able to show that there are 30% fewer vesicles that develop in animal model, and moreover, these vesicles are of a much smaller size. We've also been able to show that this molecule is able to reduce the pain in these animals, as well as reduce intestinal damage and peritoneal inflammation. There are 178 million women and teens globally with endometriosis, which means that the global endometriosis therapeutic market size is estimated at around $1.05 billion. Taking into account the fact that 6.5 million women with endometriosis in the US are found, and there's a yearly average pharmacy cost of around $1,800, then this means that within the market overall, we would like to focus within the United States, since it has the highest kind of market share globally with 48.7%. If we predict an initial SOM of only 10% versus the 26% that's held currently by the gonadal hormones, this would result in $51 million. And we predict that with this current trend towards looking for new therapeutic options for endometriosis, we would perhaps look towards an acquisition and exit between phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials. So in order to prevent the recurrence of endometriosis, we really want to focus on this initial phase right after the surgical procedure, so right after laparoscopy. We want to prevent that the reoccurrence of those lesions from coming back. Now, obviously, we're going to be competing with the different therapeutics that, as I've mentioned already, are currently on the market. However, as I've already mentioned, these have a lot of side effects. This often leads to women stopping taking them. They can't tolerate them. They can only take them for short periods of time. Some younger women may continue to want to use contraceptives just because of their availability and low cost, but we anticipate that as we become more prevalent, we will be able to compete with this. And obviously, NSAIDs or pain relievers would also be an immediate option. But as I mentioned already, we are starting to be able to show that we have pain effects in our molecule. So until now, our work, our confirmatory experiments have been supported by non-diluted grants, mainly an STTR from the NIH, as well as accelerator grants from the Puerto Rico Science Technology Trust, as well as government funding. We also currently have pending a therapeutic research grant with the Department of Defense, and our next big milestone is to engage a CRO for pre-IND and IND submission to the FDA. So the startup formed as a spin-off from long-time collaborations between myself and co-founders Dr. Annalyn Torres-Reveron and Dr. Idalise Flores, with our background in behavioral neuroscience, clinical pharmacology, animal physiology, and clinical research. We have over 10 years of scientific collaboration, and we've been managing over $15 million in academic research grants. So we're leaders in the area of looking at the stress axis in endometriosis. Our company is licensed and registered in Puerto Rico, where we have our academic research labs and academic research staff, and we have put together a board which includes expertise in both the clinical, entrepreneurship, and tax arena. So I thank you for your attention, and if you're interested in any partnering opportunities with us, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Questions?
Is there a particular age group of women who suffer from this condition primarily?
So it's primarily within reproductive age. So you're looking anywhere between 15 years going up to menopause, so 50, 51. I mean, generally speaking, with menopause, it gets better, not always.
And then this would be a prescription that would be ongoing for life, or?
Yes, what we envisage is it would be prescribed, and then you would be able to take it for much longer periods of time than the current drugs, which you can only take for short periods of time because we haven't seen any side effects. The safety profile is good. And it would be at least the initial goal would be to give it at the time of surgery. We are in talks as to whether or not we would be able to give it, therapeutically beforehand. But I think really the realistic goal right now is first time of surgery, and then it will prevent the reoccurrence, which is a big problem. Thank you.